CTV News at 5 with Tony Rima and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tony is off. We begin tonight with more on the investigation into the Near North District School Board. An unsparing report released by the Ministry of Education found the board was in crisis and incapable of dealing with delays to the new super school being built in Parry Sound. CTV's Eric Tashner starts us off tonight.
Senior administration is the problem.
Parent Amy Black is not at all surprised to hear there's dysfunction and a lack of leadership within the walls of the Near North District School Board. She was among the parents to protest the board's decision to resume classes at the partial demolished Parry Sound High School when the new school fell behind schedule.
Students are the most important part of this, and right now they are getting a subpar education and they deserve better.
A scathing 33-page report from a Ministry of Education appointee released yesterday investigated why the new school wasn't ready and the lack of contingency plan for its students. Pointing to a lack of leadership and communication, the report found several trustees didn't understand their role, finding some actively opposed the new build by spreading misinformation. Adding the person put in charge of the special committee overseeing the new school was opposed to the build and stopped calling meetings on the construction and its progress. That was 2 years ago.
I, quite frankly, was absolutely shocked.
Staff sounded the alarm this summer that construction was behind schedule, the report finding there wasn't enough site visits throughout construction and that no one knew the project was delayed. Parents were informed only a few weeks before school started, and students were learning online until the old school could be deemed safe for learning.
Any communication beyond that was met with silence.
How this could have gone on and gone on for so long.
There are over a dozen recommendations in the report, including education for trustees on their roles, and that board meetings, minutes, and agendas be posted online, and they come with a deadline for the board to comply.
The minister has ended up saying, meet these targets or there's consequences.
Meanwhile, Black is calling for Director of Education Craig Miles to resign, saying public trust in the board has completely eroded after the report revealed questionable use of a corporate credit card and a 37% raise over 4 years based on Miles's performance reviews, which he participated in crafting.
I believe in a 3 strikes and you're out, and I think this is 4 or 5 or 6.
The school board says it will not be commenting on the report's release. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Time for our first check on weather. For more details, we go to CTV's Rick Wyman. And Rick, trick or treating's about to start any moment now. How's it looking out there?
We've avoided the rain, according to Environment Canada. Remember earlier this week, Ian, I kept on saying, you know, we got the chance of precipitation doesn't look too good, but it does look okay until at least Monday. Then we'll get the rain, but that's okay. We'll do away with that for at least the weekend. Time now for your first look at the systems map, brought to you by CAA. Get your membership at getcaa.ca. So for the most part, I know it was raining in North Bay earlier. Eric Tashner said the dreaded rain is here, but of course in Greater Sudbury, they managed to avoid the rain. So the trick-or-treaters are out. So please drive safe, really safe. Drive safely. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with your 5-day weather forecast.
Wise words and looking dapper, Rick. Thanks so much. Well, after yesterday's reports of dust in the Sudbury community of Falconbridge, Glencore today saying some of the preliminary samples taken are similar to the Smelter dust event in September. Last month's event happened during routine cleaning at the smelter. Yesterday, the smelter was operating normally without monitoring instruments functioning properly, according to the company, adding their systems did not register any dusting, gas, or emissions since the incident last month. Glencore has curtailed operations at the smelter out of what they say is an abundance of caution.
I think the most important part of this is that the company has definitely heard our message loud and clear that communication needs to be paramount. And in this situation, I'm very pleased that he reached out, the VP at Glencore reached out to me personally, as well as the mayor and our emergency preparedness team with the city, falling in line with the SOP that's in place with the city and all of the partners. And I think that's what is owed to the community.
Glencore's community line remains open to support residents and to answer questions. In the meantime, Cap Paper officials say today was an emotional day. The facility is now back up and running. It was a chance to publicly thank the federal and provincial governments for investing in its operations. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more tonight from Kapuskasing.
Newsprint paper keeps on rolling at Cap Paper. About 300 people are back to work. Earlier this month, the future for the pulp mill was bleak, but community leaders fought for it.
We pull together when times are tough, and I think, I credit our whole region for coming together. But that's just what kind of people we are.
That's when you realize that Cap Paper is not only a company, it really is at the heart of this community. And so very important that it be a company that continues to thrive for years to come.
Rochefort says $10 million from FedNor will help the company adapt and respond to shifting market conditions in the forestry industry.
The purpose of the funding here is to assist with planning and repurposing the markets of this particular company. And so that's the work that is now underway.
Cap Paper officials say the province has been supporting the operation for the past year and appreciates the federal government coming on board.
It's going to take us well into the spring of next year to get to the level where we can start talking about what it is we're actually going to do. We have some really good ideas. We've engaged some very high-powered global engineering and forest products companies to help us.
Skiffington also thanked Kapuskasing Timmins Mushkegowuk MP Gaetan Millette for working with Rochefort to bring about the federal investment.
There was a vision 100 years ago, and now it's time to have the vision of another 100 years. It must be an investment for 50 to 100 years, not just an investment for a few months. So now it's time to look at that vision.
Cap Paper officials say the federal government has made it clear Canada needs to pivot, and that means they need to pivot too into new markets, new technologies, and new products. And they say that brings them hope that they're not only going to make it, but they're going to grow. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Kapuskasing.
Time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. For now, let's go to a shot of Worthington Street in downtown North Bay. Not seeing any trick-or-treaters there yet, but heck, it is still light outside. The good news, weather appears to be holding, although it's a little wet. This shot coming courtesy of the city. Rick will have those details on just how long the hold will be. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario.
I've got the Jays gear on tonight, courtesy of Pro-Am Sports in Sudbury. They're located on Barrydown Road. Get your Jays gear while it lasts. It's flying off the shelves. So to Diego and crew over at Pro-Am, muchas gracias. I like this. Very nice, very nice. We'll see what happens in game number 6 later on this evening. Forecast radar. In some sectors, we've got rain. In others, we don't. Greater Sudbury Nickel Belt, the forecast did call for a 60% chance of showers. That's not happening for this evening for the trick-or-treaters, so at least they'll be dry. Here's your forecast for the next couple of days. That rain is going to hold off in Sudbury Nickel Belt for at least a couple of days. Some cloud cover tomorrow at 4, 6 on Sunday with the time change, some sun and cloud. Then 60% chance of rain Monday at 6. Tuesday, some sunny skies and 7 degrees and more rain in the forecast come Wednesday. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, we've got cloud cover for a couple of days. 5 and 8 degrees on Sunday. Monday, chance of rain at 60%, 9 degrees, some sun and cloud Tuesday at 10. And again, 60% chance of showers on Wednesday with a high of 7. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, chance of flurries for tomorrow, only 3. Take a look at that evening low at -3. Sunday, some sun and cloud at 6 with time change. Monday, chance of rain at 6. Tuesday, cloud cover at 5, and the chance of sleet, showers, or flurries come Wednesday at 4 degrees. So a similar forecast throughout the entire Northeast. Chance of flurries for tomorrow, Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake at 3. Sunday, sun and cloud with the time change at 5. 6 on Monday, chance of rain at 60%. That's a pretty good bet there. Tuesday, cloud cover 6 and 5 on Wednesday, chance of rain at 60% as well. So for the most part, we managed to dodge a lot of rain for at least now. We'll have to wait until early next week, Monday and Wednesday, and we will be blessed with more rain, at least according to Environment Canada right now. Now, North Bay, West Nipissing, some cloud cover for a couple of days, 4 and 8 degrees. Chance of rain Monday, 60% at 8 degrees Tuesday, sunshine there. That'll be a nice day. Wednesday, chance of rain at 60% with a high of 6. Ian, earlier today, had a chance to meet Marion. She says, well, I finally realize you're taller in real life than you are on TV. How is that possible? I had to reiterate, I am 6'4", Marion. Hello, hope you enjoy the cast. Back to you.
We all look the same size on the screen, though. Thanks, Rick. Well, the Ontario government is chipping in $2 million to help cover some costs associated with the building of the new Twin Pad Arena and Community Recreation Center in North Bay. The $63 million facility will have 2 ice services, a walking track, a community room, and 14 dressing rooms to support both indoor and outdoor sports. There will be parking for more than 400 vehicles, and the Recreation Center will be one of the first net carbon zero recreational facilities in Canada. Today's money from Nipissing MPP Vic Fideli is coming from the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation.
We say thank you very much for saying that this is a project that is deemed worthy for those investments in economic development, because it is a driver of economic development.
Like I said, it'll open up the programs, because now some of the divisions you can't add more players because you run out of ice to be able to run stuff, and to run more tournaments and more games, and we want to share with all the other associations. It's all about the kids, really.
The project's still on budget and on time. The community center is set to open next August. Work to revitalize Memorial Park is underway in the heart of downtown Sudbury. CTV's Elena Everson has that story.
Crews work dethatching grass in efforts to revitalize Memorial Park.
We've had a lot of deferred maintenance over the last few years, and the efforts that you see here are really about turf restoration, improving sight lines, and then eventually facilitating future programming and events in Memorial Park.
Downtown Sudbury welcomes the work to revitalize the park and make it more welcoming.
Over the past little while, it just hasn't been upkept the way that people would hope. And it makes it difficult for organizations to do things in the park, host events, bring people out, because it's not as clean or friendly or welcoming as we'd like it to be.
The city says the north end of the park will remain fenced off until the spring to secure a safe working area.
Secondly, it's really to allow, once that work is done, for the grounds to be preserved, and all these efforts in turf restoration to make sure that the grass can grow and take place.
The southern section of the park remains open and available for Remembrance Day, and work there will start in the spring.
The efforts you see here in Memorial Park are part of the city's overall downtown action plan. Key pillars of that are beautification and animation of spaces like Memorial Park to make downtown a more welcoming and vibrant area.
There are also plans to install a concrete pad for a vendor area that could accommodate food trucks. The city says the work will continue this fall and resume in the spring, with completion slated for June, in time for summer events in the park. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, a special gift to commemorate Canada's sacrifice in World War II. Plus, we'll take a look at last night's hockey scores, including the Sioux Greyhounds, who continue to be on a streak.
Hockey This Week is brought to you by Rastall Nut and Bolt Company.
The Sioux Greyhounds have their captain back, and Brady Martin's name is now added to a star-studded list of Greyhounds turned NHLers. The 18-year-old returned from Nashville last week with the Predators' 5th overall pick, got a first taste of life in the big leagues.
It was a lot of fun in Nashville. I learned a lot, and a lot from the veterans and the coaching staff there. And then, but I'm good. I'm happy to be back, and I think we have a pretty good team this year. So I'm happy to be back and can't wait.
Including training camp, Preseason and his NHL debut, it was a time of many firsts while in the Volunteer state. October 11th was special for Martin in particular when he earned his first NHL point with an assist on Nashville star Philip Forsberg's first period goal against the Utah Mammoth.
Great effort by him, kind of getting their breakout disrupted. I do think he's looking great, and I'm excited for the next period.
I grew up watching him on TV, which was pretty cool, and then you get drafted and you get to play with him for a couple games is crazy. I would have never thought of that for myself. So yeah, I just took it all in and took it day by day and enjoyed every moment.
Since returning, the Hounds star has been red hot with 7 points in his first 3 games. Martin's skill and tenacity define his game, according to his coach, who describes him as a great leader that brings a lot of energy to the room and someone who possesses an exceptional work ethic.
Because he models the right behavior, it becomes more special for the coaching staff. But yeah, there's young men in there right now who I'm sure will tell you that it is exciting to get to play with Brady Martin. That stuff does wear off, but when your best players are also your most competitive, it's a huge coaching advantage, a huge advantage for your team. It's contagious.
Seeing a guy come back from the NHL, I think it especially pushes the younger guys and pushes me and Miggy, obviously being line mates. So yeah, it pushes the guys a ton.
For Hayes and other Hounds, the reintroduction of Martin means more than just an added weapon on the ice.
We've been together for 3 years. We pretty much do everything together, whether it's on the ice, off the ice, and we go out to dinner a bunch, read each other's billets. So yeah, it's great to have it back.
Coach Dean says this year has been a roller coaster for the Hounds and believes Martin will help steady the ship. But the Sioux captain's reassignment to the border city came with instructions from Nashville.
I think just all around developing and getting bigger, it's at the NHL is a whole nother level. So you gotta. I wasn't ready, and it's good for me to be back here and develop a little more. So yeah, I'm glad to be back.
While he works on his development, Martin says he has high expectations for himself and his team, looking to propel the Greyhounds as far as possible this season. He also notes that he would love to earn a spot on Team Canada for this year's World Junior Championship. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
The Sioux Greyhounds continued their northern road trip, taking on the North Bay Battalion last night. And what a rally it was for the Hounds. They managed to get on the board with this shot from Travis Hayes only minutes into the third, tying up the game, but they weren't done there. 2 more goals and an empty netter. The Hounds pull out of the Gateway City with a 4-1 win. Brady Martin last night with 1 goal and 3 assists becomes the first star of the game. Just 1 game tonight in the OHL. The Sudbury Wolves are on the road. They'll be in Kitchener looking for a win. Game time is at 7 o'clock. The Wolves have lost their last 3 while visiting the Rangers. In the NOJHL, the top-rated Hearst Lumberjacks fell to Timmins Rock 6-1, and the Sudbury Cubs hosted the Sioux Thunderbirds, taking home ice advantage 5-2. Tonight over in the NOJHL, the Iroquois Falls are in Hearst taking on the Lumberjacks. The Powassan Voodoo and the Sioux Michigan Eagles go head-to-head south of the border, and the French River Rapids are in Espanola taking on the Paper Kings. Game time is at 7 o'clock. The Algonquin Regiment has received a special gift commemorating the company's historic sacrifice during World War II. The regiment, based out of North Bay, has been gifted a replica bell of the town of Welberg in the Netherlands. Welberg was liberated by Canadian forces in November 1944. On Sunday, a ceremony will be held at the Algonquin Regiment's Martin Leo Troy Armory at 10:30. The ceremony will include a parade and the ringing of the bell to memorialize both the civilian and military lives lost at Welberg. A new Rotary Peace Pole was dedicated in Sudbury today at the local Gurdwara. This one will be located at 131 Regent Street, Sudbury's Sikh place of worship, and features the saying, "May peace prevail on earth," in 8 languages. The event featured music and representatives from the Francophone, Indigenous, and Sikh community. The Rotary Club says this will be the 17th peace pole erected in the city, and they have plans to add 5 more soon along Rainbow Roots Trail in Sudbury. When we return, we'll take a look at your community close up. You're watching First at 5. Time for our community close-up, and for that we begin not too far from the station here up in the community of Isilda. The Alcalde sent us this fabulous shot of his mother-in-law, the soon-to-be 95 years young Gladys Barker. Looks like she's all set for Game 6 tonight of the World Series. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but I'm guessing she's a Blue Jays fan. Same here, Gladys. You go, girl. Enjoy tonight's game, and hopefully we'll have some good news for everyone tonight at 11:30. Go Jays, go. Rose Seguin of Sudbury was out last night and had what looks to be an absolutely beautiful walk through Mallard's Landing. Would you look at that sunset? Stunning. Thanks so much for sharing, Rose. Speaking of sunsets, this was the scene down on Lake Kakawong last night on Manitoulin Island. Lots of pinks out there. I love it. This comes from Monique Forshoe. Thank you, Monique. Never seen Lake Kakawong like this so late at night. What an absolute treat. Finally for us tonight, Raymond Bourgeois captured this magical evening on her property up in Swastika. This beautiful reddish pink sunset was in the bush by the highway. You have to love fall for this reason. Definitely some spectacular looking skies out there this time of year. In other news, 8 Northerners struck it rich, winning Lotto Max's second prize. The group buys tickets together and will now split just over $100,000. Congratulations. If you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. Trick-or-treating will be getting underway any moment now. Even still, Sudbury saw a different kind of house-to-house canvassing last night, and it was all for a great cause. Lockerbie Composite School students were out collecting donations as part of the Kids Caring for Kids Cancer Drive. This special fundraiser was started 30 years ago by the late Laura Catesta, a Lockerbie student who bravely battled cancer for a decade. All proceeds go towards supporting pediatric care at the Health Sciences North Foundation.
Unfortunately, we do have a lot of kids in our city that are fighting cancer, and we have kids in our schools, and it's the least we can do to support them and help our community thrive on.
It really helps other people who are in need of it, and it kind of brings you get to meet new people, and you get to help something that's supporting something really big and great for our school community.
I know a lot of people struggle financially, so if they need treatment, they're not able to travel far distances to Toronto to sick kids. So raising money helps them be able to get their treatment here in Sudbury, so they're able to stay comfortable in their home.
Cancer runs in my family, and it's so important to me to have this moment to fundraise because it's giving back to the community, to something that's near and dear to my heart, and it really feels important to me to be able to do this.
Since its inception, the initiative has raised over $1 million. Way to go, Lockerbie. You should be so proud. I know the Catesta family is probably so proud of you as well. There's more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.